the AD carries that we'll see. But Ezreal, as you rightly said earlier on, first thing today, we were talking about the Ezreal coming through into the meta. It's going to be banned away.
It's also because what WE need right now is an AD carry that can fend for itself. You don't have the Varus, you don't have the Ezreal, which are the two kind of stand out in my mind, because you've got your support going forward, you've got this Galio who's going to be following up on that engage, Trundle's going to be trying to run people down, and now you've got an AD carry who's looking from the backline going, please for the love of God, nobody touch me. So if he can get to where he's got something that can at least keep himself safe, Jomung will be in a much better position. I'm not really sure what the AD carry he's going to go for in this situation is, because Ezreal's gone. You could potentially go for the Misfortune we were talking about, who's just looking to follow up on the engage, but definitely Kai'Sa is the other one you can go for, who's looking to dive that back line alongside the rest of the team.
Yeah, interesting that it's Ezreal and Kai'Sa banned away. I didn't really expect to be seeing any Kai'Sa bans today, but Morgan once again with the Renekton after 2 top lane bans coming out from WE. So perhaps leaning towards this top lane focus that we saw in game number 1. But once again, same matchup there. And now that Thresh wasn't banned by EDG, it means Mako can grab something that we've all seen him play many, many times.
And does a pretty good job against this set, or at least this setup as well, that WE are going for, because hey look, if you want to start dive bombing onto just this one person and ruin their day, a nice Lantern could set yourself up, even just trying to flay people away and set up for a slightly different style of engagement.
We could see an Ashe locked in. That would be exciting. I'm hyped to see that one. And it is going to be locked in. I didn't want to talk too much until it was, but it is. Jomung bringing us the Ashe in the bottom lane. So Dagda, break this one down, because I ain't got the foggiest.
The idea here is to double down on this engage, right? You're trying to set up for a nice enchanted crystal arrow, get your set into the mix, get this Galio to start setting things up, and go all in on this very heavy engage style. The biggest problem that I'm finding here is that you're still a little bit lackluster when it comes to the damage. So if you're able to kite back as this EDG style, well, you're not really going to be able to get onto Hope too easily. If Kallista's not the one that's being locked up, Scout will be able to get you pushed back with the Scout of the Weeks. You've got good disengage with Thresh and Sin as well. So this is very much a case of, can WE just slam home very quickly, wipe EDG, or is EDG going to get that opportunity of respite to step back away from WE and find the fight over a sustained period of time?
Well, we'll have to find out. I'm excited for the Ashe pick for Jomung. He's a player that we've criticized for being a little bit inconsistent, but Ashe, a very safe AD carry, and if you can position correctly, can really deal out the damage later on once you've got a couple of items behind yourself. But on the other side of the board, we do still have this Kalista. Bear in mind, Kalista does struggle when you can slow her movement speed.
She definitely does, and I think that's part of the reason that we're seeing her here on this bottom side. Again, the one for me is just the lack of damage that Ashe brings. She is obviously that more utility style, so the build here, or at least the pressure that WE are going to need to exert, is going to have to come in very quick and very fast. But it's also put a big old target on Hope in the bottom lane, because you go Enchanted Crystal Arrow into set lockup, that'll give enough time for Teacher Mod to make it down to this bottom lane, and it feels like that's the game plan here from WE, is just all in on this bottom lane and see if we can shut down Hope and start that snowball rolling.
Well, it's time to get into game number 3 here. Our first series of the LPL Summer 2020 split, and it is delivering the hype right now. WE changing things up with an Ashe in the bottom lane. And we'll see whether EDG can answer that, bringing JJ in to potentially fill a hole in their strategy from game 2.
We'll be on the Lee Sin, which is a comfort for JJ, so now be looking to try and see if he can go aggressive into Beishang, try and see if he can pick him off. You can win out in these matchups as the Lee Sin as long as you hold on to the execute damage to the end of the trade. Otherwise, Beishang can just turn around with the press the attack and ruin the day of the Lee Sin. So we'll have to see how this is all going to come together. I think EDG, you've already got a winning top and a winning mid, so they should be the ones, at least when it comes to pushing advantage, that should open up the map for JJ to try and get into the WE side.
Well, I have to say, I agree with the Colonel on this one. He reckons WE the whole time, with one moment in the game where it's exactly 50-50. But honestly, I'm just excited to see how this Ashe pick is going to do, because I'm a bit of a one-trick, and I like to play Ashe and Caitlyn pretty much only. So if Ashe becomes really good, I'm a happy sailor.
I'm watching Teacher Ma as well, so he's opted for the unsealed spell. But where are you going, buddy?
Teacher Ma dropping a deep ward. Scout isn't going to have any CC at this point, so he's actually going to be fine to just get away with this one. Does take a bit of punishment for it, but he's on Galio.
I want to go back to this point first. Teacher Ma, I'm hoping we bring up the roost. There it is. Okay. Oh, I wasn't sure if he was going to go for the approach velocity. So my thought process here was that we could have seen the Nimbus Cloak come in, which works really well with the Unsealed Spellbook. You get a bunch of those extra summoner spells to speed you up, and as Galio get into the middle of people, so you get that big taunt off. But when you've already got the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, which could set you up as well, having just that approach velocity to run in and get that extra little bit of speed just means you could have wiped out EDG and doubled down on this super heavy engage. Doesn't decide to go for it though, instead going for the Cosmic Radiance and just looking to use this Unsealed Spellbook and the Summoner Spell's cooldown that comes with that pick.
I'm not sure that Cosmic Radiance is a rune option.
Not Cosmic.
I think you actually
Sorry,
have to
Cosmic
lock in
Insight.
Tarek to get that
Cosmic
one.
Insight, that's the one.
I wish that was a rune choice, because that would make the game real spicy, but not yet. That'll be Season 11. We're still just stuck on things like Aphelios for now. Teacher Ma now looking to... Oh no, I thought he was going to go in there. I thought he was going to go for an aggressive trade, but just going to be farming away. And you got to keep your eyes here on JJ when it comes to this early game. He's gone for the Lee Sin. When we saw Junjia going for Nidalee in both game number 1 and game number 2, this screams that EDG want to be more proactive here in game number 3. So, with this Lee Sin pick, we've got to see where he's going to be able to go to make that happen.
Well, we already said, look, JJ historically has played very much towards mid and towards bot, and I think when you've got Scout on this Syndra, you can really set yourself up for success in just playing towards that. Morgan and Beishang, though, this is a very early play towards JJ.
They might just get it off as well because... Oh, no, he's not going to go for it. I thought he was going to follow through onto Teacher Ma there, but JJ walks away. And they didn't actually see where they were, but obviously Audi, he's like, hey guys, Morgan's gone, and he's been gone a while. Please be safe.
Morgan's gone, and Teacher Ma was very deliberately moving in towards the river. You have to assume that he's just going to catch up with the rest of his friends there. So JJ, realizing that, moves back in underneath the tower, doesn't want to go into his own jungle with so many members of WE missing.
Well, we've got a slow start to things. I like the attempt there by WE, but the question will be what EDG do, because in both games so far, it was WE trying to start a play, but EDG answering beautifully and turning it into their own play. This time around, so far, everything's been even Stevens. When it comes to this bottom lane, with Missing being on the set this time, it changes that dynamic for Hope pretty significantly.
It does. But the thing is, you're looking towards the level 6 more for Jumung and Missing here. That's where they're coming online. Should be able to set up super well for Beishang. And as you rightfully pointed out in Champ Select, not only do you have to worry about the slows from the Ash arrows messing you up as Kalista, but you've also got Beishang here who can come in with these pillars, and it can be a pretty nasty gank to deal with this one.
Well, flash forward for the play here. Jomon gets away, he's exhausted, but Missing will be the one to go down. Haymaker onto one, but Audi actually TP'd in for this one. First blood goes the way of Hope. Morgan not a part of the play here, and he's going to be happy to just wander back to lane. He now doesn't have to use his TP.
And that's the big thing here for WE, is they can actually look to try and potentially make a play here if they wanted with Morgan's ultimate with Morgan's teleport, but still going to be a numbers advantage over towards EDG, so they decide to...
Beishang wants to smite here, but he's not going to find it. In comes Teacher Ma, but I don't know if this is a fight that he wants to go for right now. Dragon is incredibly low. Taunt onto everyone. Who gets the Dragon is the question. It goes the way of Audi. Everybody arriving as Morgan TP'd in as well, but Audi's low on HP, backs away. Hope tanking a lot of damage. Audi barely surviving, and Morgan finishes him off. Somehow surviving. Now the slows from Jomung will be massive. Scout the target, but Morgan can't keep going forwards. He's too low. The fight finishes. It's 3-2 and EDG got Dragon.
God, I missed the LPL. That was just an absolute mess, but it was a pleasure to watch.
Well, look at Teacher Ma. Look at Teacher Ma right now. I was criticizing that ult because I was like, I don't know if you can win this one, but he leaves the fight 2-0-1 on the Galio.
Well, the big thing here was Beishang definitely went in a little bit early, trying to hang on and see if he could wait maybe for the teleport to finish before he committed, but you still get the turnaround here. I was worried as Teacher Ma came in here, but great taunt here onto 3 members. Morgan gets the slice and dice directly onto JJ. And at this stage, EDG are so focused on Secure the Dragon that the damage that Jomung's able to dish out is just way too high, as well as missing not even being a support at this stage, just another top laner that's part of this fight.
I just love that we see Audi and Morgan both make a TP play bot. Audi's goes in and it's like kind of already late, and they've pretty much already got the kill down in that bottom side. And Morgan's like, call that a TP play, let me show you a TP play, and basically wins the dragon fight for his team.
There's no need really for either of these teams to fight so hard around this dragon though, but I do like that WE opt into it, because what we said before was WE want to be making use of Teacher Ma's ultimate, they want to be making use of the early plays that can come through from the Ashe as well, and fighting at these dragons gives them the opportunity to try and get this snowball rolling, or at least get themselves an advantage, whereas EDG, we're still needing a little bit of time. Like if they can wait until you've got the Blade of the Rune King and the Runins on Hope, they'll have a far better time in these fights. But until then, WE will definitely be the ones that are in control.
It's worth mentioning, though, that while WE win the fight by a singular kill, ultimately the Dragon did go the way of EDG. And when you look at the CS numbers across the board, Morgan had to abandon a lot of minions to make that TP play. So he's fallen behind in the top lane. And also on the bottom side of the map, Hope is ahead in CS as well. Missing somehow winning a 2v1 trade while I'm speaking.
You do, like, Morgan hadn't actually lost out a huge amount of that CS. The wave was pretty much nullified in the top side of the map, and that's why he held on to that TP for so long. So, yes, it was a small bit that went across, but there was already a sizable advantage that had gone across to Audi before that play happened. So, WE right now, I mean, you're already kind of behind, but they have brought themselves back into an even when it comes to that gold.
Hook through from Mako here. They're on to missing. Haymaker at the last possible second, but he keeps him alive. No! Jump forward from Hope and gets the rend. And once again, 2v2 from Hope and Mako.
And this is why Thresh is such a contested pick. You can do so much work with the hook, and catching missing out, trying to get a ward, trying to stay safe.
Oh, arrow from Jomon? I mean, there's no way he can follow it up, but...
Got him?
He got it.
Got
he
him.
hit it. 100%. 100% ult accuracy this game. Well, you know.
I love the way we've been living together for so long and we just think the same.
Yeah, it's getting concerning at this stage. Bayshuk moves in to contest the Herald now, stun onto missing. But they're quite happy for Scout to use all of his resources onto the support here. Herald down to 2,000 as Audi. Winning out this 1v1 against Morgan, Herald goes down. It's in favor of EDG, but it's going to be blocked by WE here. It's just going to be a kill for a Herald, but they don't actually get the objective for themselves unless they can follow up here. Bayshung falls. JJ now trying to turn it into more as well. Morgan there, but they're going to get the Herald in the end. Now Teachama's alone as well. It's all gone wrong for WE, and it's all gone oh so right for EDG.
It is, again, a very messy engage from WE, and when we started talking about WE being this very clean team that can use Teacher Ma's ultimates incredibly well, that's not been the case so far. EDG are finding WE spread out. Teacher Ma trying to ult to get out of that fight only sealed his fate as the CC comes through anyway, and he ends up going down. Now Rift Herald in the mid lane to get a bunch of plates over as well. Scout's going to be very happy to receive that, just because Scout's job in these fights is to get onto Jomung and kill him as quickly as possible. Give him more gold and more burst, makes that job a hell of a lot easier.
Certainly does. Teacher going to be able to deny the wave clear slightly there with the TP and clear the way for himself. And hopefully get out onto the map, because it's 10 seconds until this second Drake will spawn. And WE would love to not have their opponents stacking these dragons, because that's happened 2 games in a row now. It'd be really nice for them to get control for once.
WE are in a position to at least start this up, but you've got no ultimate on your top, jungle, or mid. This is not exactly a fight you want to take right now.
Actually, the arrow coming straight down onto JJ, just going to force them away. Dragon taken in the meantime, but they're fighting a 3 versus 4. Missing gets away somehow with his life here, and Teachama still surviving as well. Mako tanking on up. Jomung might be left alone here. Flash forwards, and it won't quite finish off any kills. Audi gets onto Morgan. Everyone from WE surviving. They're just going to have to back away, though. This bottom lane tower's in trouble.
Got a summoner spell inside for WE. They do get the dragon, but as you said, losing turret plates on this bottom side. EDG won't quite be able to get the turret, but still, the next fight that WE go for means they won't have a lot of these summoner spells up.
Super strange to see Hope there with a Blade of the Rune King complete and not even tier 1 boots. Usually you do see the tier 2 boots coming through first for Kalista, but sometimes the amount of gold is just right, and it feels great to finish off a Blade of the Rune King. Just not something you see very often.
But the biggest issue is you don't get that leap distance that the extra boots allow you, so that was kind of the not too much of an issue here for Hope, where he was able to position himself far enough away from missing, but definitely the chase down potential that you usually see Kalista shine in, that's why it was hindered so much, and Hope not able to get onto a lot of these low health members at the end of that fight.
It just feels weird to watch a level 8 Kalista that still jumps so slowly across the map, hopping around like a little rabbit or something. But now, as we look towards the mid game here, we're getting towards that 15-minute mark. The tower plates will start to fall shortly. That's when the question will be, who is the ones that are ahead in this game? Has this Lee Sin pick worked out here for JJ?
I can't get the image of Kalista looking like a child in a baby hopper right now. I didn't realize how much is just this tiny little hop. But anyway, EDG now. Still trying to move in. Oh, missing.
In he goes. He wants to go for a fight. It pulls straight onto Scout. The arrow to follow. Scout doesn't get to play the game anymore. Neither does Jomung, though, because Audi is here to shut him down. And Morgan is going to look to try and answer, getting the damage down onto this Aatrox. There's nothing Audi can do about it. The rest of the squad's here. Knockups galore. Audi has some damage, and he has some healing as well. Finally falls, and Teachmar gets himself a hat-trick.
I have no idea why we're fighting here, but sure. WE managed to get the fight. They kill Scout, JJ, and Audi. EDG will try and answer for at least some of these turret plates in the mid lane, but I mean, WE, they are finding some fights getting gold in their favor, but unfortunately it's not going on to the people that they would really want to. Teacherma with 3 kills, Beishang with 3 as well. You would love for Jomung to be picking up these, as this is the consistent damage that's going to be on your team, but EDG moving in to get vision, missing, looking for Hope, but not quite able to get on it. They still kill Scout very, very quickly, but I'm not sure why this became a fight where we're like, everyone needs to get here right now. It's not like the Dragon is.
Because that's how WE plays. That's
I mean,
how
fair.
they love to play.
If they got kills out of it, sure.
Well, there we have it. Spoken.
So, sorry,
go on.
Go on. The biggest problem that, like, you're looking at a minute 45, you're going to have Dragon up. Nobody has any TPs available for this fight now. So, Morgan's not going to be able to get in. Audi won't be able to get here either. And I think having both of those summoner spells available would have helped out on both sides more for this next Dragon fight, especially because you want to start securing a lot of these Ocean Drakes. We're on that Ocean Soul, and if you can get 2, 3 of these in your back pocket, that makes such a difference in eating some of the poke that can come in from EDG or from WE and just being able to get back into the next fight.
So now we've got a bit of a reset here. 6-7 on the scoreboard, but the gold is much, much closer than what we've seen in the first 2 games of the series. Game 2 was very much a comeback from the side of WE. Game number 1 was just all about EDG. They completely owned the map the entire time. So the question will be, can WE convert this closer mid-game into something more meaningful? And will this pick composition that they've drafted actually pay off when those kills matter more? Time to find out, I guess, because Mako gets a play onto 2. Showstopper onto Hope. In comes Teachama as well, but the Zhonya's keeps Hope alive for now, but slowed and finished off. The CC chain is just so obnoxious. And now on towards this mid lane turret. And I don't think there's much that EDG can really do to contest, as Dragon is spawning in 20 seconds.
The thing is, as long as it's not Hope or Scout that's getting caught, EDG can do a really good job of kiting back and getting that return damage, but time and again, it's been the 2 carries for EDG. The 2 we pointed out as the backline back hitters are just getting destroyed here.
Mid lane tower taken low, but they're not going to commit to this one because Dragon is a little bit more important right now, especially when it's going to be an Ocean Soul this game, and this would be a really, really good one for WE to get themselves on Soul point.
Sure, but we're looking over at the top side of the map as well for Lee Sin stealing away this Rift Herald while the Ocean Dragon is going down. So we'll see maybe a play towards top side. Teleport is coming in from Teachama to keep the top lane turret alive, but there could be the opportunity here for JJ to just run straight up and use that Rift Herald and try and get a little bit of gold over in Audi's favor.
So at least it's a trade of objectives here for EDG. Certainly not losing control of things just yet. Taking a look at the gold, I'm surprised how much gold Scout has comparatively to the rest of the players in the game.
I'm also looking at the build path that's come through for the Aatrox on the top side. Audi's going straight for the Death Stance. Usually you see the likes of a Black Cleaver come in first, and then you can get that CDR, and well, at least more CDR. You get the 20% from the Black Cleaver, and then you can start working towards the Death Stance. But I think he's realized here, look, someone's going to have to tank this engage that's coming through from WE, and unfortunately it looks like it will be Audi or it will be JJ that has to volunteer for that. So opting instead for the Death Stance nice and early to get those resists in and maybe helping surviving some of this engage that can come through from WE.
We'll see if they can survive. And ultimately that is going to be the question, right? Is how long does that first person that gets caught out survive? Because we've seen like 2-3 fights in a row now, whoever gets hit by the CC from missing, the follow-up from Jomung, the follow-up from Teachamar, you don't get to move for the rest of your life. Even with a Zhonya's in play, even with a stopwatch in play, you're still going to fall down. So the question is, what can EDG do during that time that that one person is being brutalized?
The main one is run away, clear the impact zone that Galio's just left. You need to make sure that you're kiting back from this composition, because once that all that engages come through, well, then you're relatively safe, because no more Enchanted Crystal Arrows, not like Teacherma can suddenly get on top of you, and Beishang and Morgan have still got to do this run down or flank position to really be a nuisance. So as these objectives come in, if EDG are able to widen that gap between WE and EDG, they should be fine and continuing forward. But the problem is, WE have picked up a solid gold lead for themselves now. You're looking at about 1,000, but with the way and the strength of their team composition right now, they can definitely look to extend that super effectively.
It's going to be a trade of towers here. Top for bot. That is the first tower that EDG have got this game for themselves. And importantly, WE have officially taken the gold lead before the 20-minute mark, which I think is the first time they've done that this series. And they're on to hope once again. There's the pullback, jumps away on the Lantern. Mako standing straight in front of him because he knows that that Crystal Arrow was about to follow.
Nothing used by W in that engage though, so they can still look to rinse and repeat as they start to move in towards this mid lane turret. It is so low as well. EDG have just got to completely forfeit this. If you have Teacher Matt coming in on the flank or catching them out.
Not the ideal target there to go for the unleashed power. Because honestly, Teacherma is not going to take very much damage at all, especially with the Merc Treads in his inventory. And that's a huge cooldown now, as everybody moving towards the Dragon. It did defend the mid-tower, though. That mid-tower still stays alive for EDG.
It's only a matter of time, though. WE will be able to push inside waves, get the vision control, and then look to flank with Beishang.
Beishang is in a little bit of trouble. Here comes the CC. Arrow straight onto JJ. Teacherma in onto everyone, but JJ survives. And Audi gets a bit of a knock-up. Everything used here by WE, but they're not able to commit to any kills. Two-man taunt comes through from Teacherma. The follow-up damage isn't quite there. Mako pushed back into everyone, missing against the world, pulls them all in. One kill for Jomung, and the rest of the squad falls as well. And in the blink of an eye, WE take control.
What looked like EDG might be able to get that kite back, find even footing. It slips underneath them as a massive engagement from Missing slams the tanky member of EDG straight into the face of Hope and JJ.
And now straight onto the Baron. Bear in mind, you've got an Ashe with a Blade of the Rune King. You can burn through that health bar oh so quickly. And Trundle as well will do a decent job. Audi and Scout here to contest though.
WE now will be able to finish off this Baron, but they have to be careful. Teacherma's rather low in the back.
They're going to try. Scout desperate to do what he can here. Teacherma's in trouble, but survives. Scout of the week isn't going to finish anyone, but Baron finishes Morgan. It is going to be taken by WE in the end. Audi trying to finish players off, trying to remove these Baron buffs. Jomung's in trouble. He still has Flash. He wants the fight right now. Will go for the volley and flashes away. One casualty. We're going to call that worth.
That is definitely a victory for WE. EDG trying to force them back, but WE fearless in the face of that onslaught. Teacherma even with the early smite to keep himself alive. EDG will manage to take the tower in response, but this is still the WE we saw in spring. Getting Teacherma out early, impacting that map, and running away with the snowball. Now though, EDG on this Dragon, WE are collapsing.
2 Drakes apiece if EDG can grab this one. Crystal Arrow goes down. Baeshug is here! And Soul Point for WE. Maybe a fight as well. Mako's been found. Scatter the weak onto 2 though. It's JJ taunted. EDG will walk away, but ultimately it's WE that are taking everything.
With everyone abandoning the pit, JJ and his 2-level disadvantage means Baeshug is able to walk in, smite it away. Now they get their own mid tower and they can keep pushing. EDG haven't backed since that last fight.
This is going to be an easy second tower as well. Jomung, off the back of this massive injection of gold, might be able to finish off his Hurricane as well, which is a humongous power spike for the Ashe. And with a Baron across the team as well, WE are poised and ready in this game. And EDG, now we need to see that late game team fighting we were talking about.
It's a different style of composition though from EDG. I mean, as we said, very beefy frontline is what EDG usually went for. That's not what they have here. They don't have that late game prowess as heavily as you would expect from this squad. So with this composition that WE has, it takes a long time before EDG are going to be able to fight them with the lead that WE picked up.
I'm just looking at the scoreboard and I have to say, oh hang on, we've got a TP come through. I think it's just going to be Teachmark clearing the wave here. But I have to say, looking at the scoreboard, I love how the second I bring up the scoreboard, by the way, Colonel arrives. He's like, yeah, we know WE's winning, mate. Everyone knows that. But look at Ashe's scoreline right now. Jomung, 1-1-7. This is your typical Ashe scoreline. You're an AD carry main. You want to be winning the game. You want to be getting the kills, but it just doesn't happen as Ashe. You don't do enough damage per auto attack. Ashe needs buffs. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
But she did get buffs. She got 30 health and
Let's
an
go.
extra 2% movement speed on her Zeal, you know?
Look how fast she is now.
Look at her go. There's no stopping her. But I think anyway, like Ashe is perfect here for continuing engages like this.
Audi could be in a whole heap of trouble. What an arrow. Round of applause for Jomung across the map there. And well, if they weren't ahead enough, a pick while they've got Baron buff, although Baron's about to drop off, it's just going to keep on accelerating this snowball.
Jomung finally found his coffee cup. That's what I've understood, because after game number 1, I was like, oh god, we got the bad Jomung. But the second half of game number 2, he really started to come into his own. And in game number 3, he is putting on a show. WE now looking to continue putting their stamp on this game and extend the 4,000 gold lead that they have right now.
So far, so good. And let's bear in mind, Teachmark on the Galio. Even though you think of Galio typically as like a relatively supportive pick, he's 6-1-6. He is not supportive right now. He does serious damage. And even with that spellbook, he's going to be able to cycle through the summoners, either have defensive or aggressive summoners whenever he needs.
And I like that he's gone for the heal here. Like, one, it obviously gives you the little bit of the speed up, but obviously playing into the runes that he has as well, he's very quickly going to be able to close the gap. But the flexibility you get with heal and obviously keeping yourself alive, but also that pseudo-offensive tool is really helpful for the likes of a Galio.
All right, so Dragon's up in a minute 40, and this would be Soul for WE. So put yourself in EDG's shoes here, Dagda. What do they got to do? How do they find some semblance of control in this game?
I think they need to buy new shoes, to be honest, because EDG have fairly fallen behind in this game. I mean, look, you've got incredible engage that's going to come through from the Ashe. It makes it very difficult for you to try and dissuade the engage. You've got Set for Missing, who's been doing a great job of getting in and, again, working around the vision lines to find picks, find success. And even if you manage to avoid all of that, you've still got these really frustrating trundle pillars that are just plonking up in front of you all over the place, making it difficult for Hope and Scout to try and escape if they're ever caught out.
Morgan absolutely annihilates the Scuttle Crab. What a badass. I feel like that was bullying, honestly. But now Ocean Drake spawning in 40 seconds, and you can see WE are ready for the occasion because they're going to be clearing vision away. They now know that there's a ward at the back of the pit, and it does mean that another control ward has to be used there. Baeshug moving forward very confidently because he knows JJ can't really contest for this. If he does, Missing is waiting. Not going to make a play just yet. Just going to be fighting for control of the mid lane before moving over to the dragon.
Look at Missing though, he's right in behind them here.
Oh, that's going to be an arrow onto everyone. Teachama with the 3-man knock-up as well. Double kill for Jomung onto Mako as well. There's one for Teachama. And they might just forget the dragon. They might go for an inhibitor.
I love watching set support just for the ability to make plays like that, especially when you follow up with Teacher Ma. It is chef kiss beautiful from WE. Now they'll be able to get that Ocean Dragon. The Ocean Soul means that this team fight is completely over. They can engage across map with Jomung, set themselves up to finally crack open the base of EDG. Baron is still on the cards as well though. They can just walk straight towards that objective, and there's nothing EDG can do.
Yeah, especially with an Ocean Soul now. If you thought that Morgan was hard to kill before, if you thought that Missing was hard to kill before, you got another thing coming, because these guys get real tanky. Let's take another look at this fight.
Yeah, look, straight onto JJ, but all you had to do was catch off the scout at the back of that fight, and that's exactly what Missing was doing. It was engagements from all sides, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and WE collapsed.
That was really, really nice from the side of Missing there, because Mako actually went for his Mikhails onto JJ because he was the one that was stunned. But they didn't go for the play onto JJ, so suddenly the Mikhails is completely wasted. There's no way out of the set ultimate, and it sets WE up for this massive play. Audi now getting caught. Oh, if that hits, oh my days. Stand on the lantern. Oh, you don't need to because of the showstopper. Audi can't get away. That was magnificent.
Everything about that play was absolutely perfect. Sorry.
What are we watching? That was like if I wanted to make a set play to advertise League of Legends to people that have never seen it before, that's the play I'd set up.
100%. But like, can someone check JJ's PC? And look, I think he's looking for the steal. Okay, that's still really healthy Baron, JJ.
Yeah, and he's been spotted now. There is no way that this goes his way. Mako moving in as well as Hope. Hope's already getting to the point where Kallista's going to stop feeling as strong as it did. JJ, there's no way into this pit for you. Baron will go down here, smited away by Beisheng in the end. And another advantage for WE. And what happened to EDG? Game number 1, I was about ready to call them a top 4 team. The rest of the series, though, it's just not been there.
Well, this has been WE playing incredibly well. We talked about already the pressure that you could exert on the bottom side with this Ashe pick, and they played to it beautifully. That one turnaround fight at Dragon, they get a couple of kills, and they just don't let up the pressure. Now they're forcing themselves on towards this top lane turret. You still have a lot of ultimates available. You're just waiting for Teacher Maz to finish before they look for a super heavy inhibitor.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, there's no way you can contest with these inhibitors as EDG right now. They're going to move over towards the mid lane as well. There'll be 2 inhibs for the side of WE. And it might just be a Nexus defense remaining from the side of EDG. But honestly, the question is, can you actually defend the Nexus? If WE goes for the fight right here, they might just be able to tank both towers. They're going to try to. They're just going to destroy the towers because EDG are not pulling the trigger. Here we go. Showstopper on in, but the health bar's already so low. Torn onto everyone from Teachama. Scout still surviving, though. Maybe WE have bitten off more than they can chew. Maybe not, though, because the Nexus is exposed. Audi desperately trying to fight. In comes Teachama once again. And the Nexus falls. WE with a masterclass on how to play Ashe.
And